Here we go. This is going to be the DJI Air 3S, a fun flight in July, or a fun July flight. Here we are. We found our takeoff mat, and we got the Air 3S up in the air, getting acquainted with its landing location. Let's take it up a few feet here and make sure it gets a good view of where I want it to land on the pad for a precision landing later that we're going to try. So there we go. That's about right there. Good enough. Okay, let's get some altitude here. It's late July. Temperature is about 97 degrees, and the heat index is around 110. So a pretty warm day out. In fact, I thought the drone was going to overheat for a while there because she got hot to the touch. Anyway, it's about 4:30, 5 o'clock, maybe a little bit later in the afternoon. Yeah, we're just going to go for a short flight here from the lodge and head due south. I see a railroad track out there, and I see a train on it. One of my favorite things for sure. Yeah, it's not moving though; it's sitting still, but we'll get a little look at it anyway. So we thought we'd take the Air 3 out and get a little wind up her skirt here. She likes to fly. Her and the Mini 5 Pro just have fits who's going to get to fly first and the most. That train, I wish it was moving right now, but it isn't. It's sitting still, so we'll come out here and we'll just go out a little ways further. You can see there's a little bit of gimbal tilt in the horizon. It is known, DJI is known for their gimbal tilt on just about everything they've ever made, so. But it's close enough that I'm not going to fool with it. There we go. That's about as far as I think we're going to head out here, and we'll start hanging a Roscoe here and bringing her back to the west. Now, one thing I can tell you is a little bit of overexposure here. As I'm heading into the sun, I have an ND filter on. I thought I grabbed a 32, but I grabbed a 16, I think, and I had it on here. So it is what it is. But she came out very well anyway. So you can see all the fields are all planted. Those are all soybeans they've got in down here. And most of the fields have already been hayed and the bales have already been put up, but there are a few fields that they've hayed that they can't get into because we've had so much rain. Between ridiculous heat and rain, it's been hard on the farmers around here. Anyway, here's a really nice lake. This is on, this guy had at one time, he owned a whole section. He owned about 680 acres in here. And I think he's divided it up. He owns probably 200 or 300 in here now. And there's maybe a little bit more. And I think he sold some of the back property to another house. I saw somebody put a house back there. And up there on the left, we won't fly to it, but there's a house up there too. So he sold some of that property. And he's got it real rough here with this private lake on this dam. I can see me wetting a line on that, stepping out onto that dock. But unfortunately, he doesn't let anybody fish, so that's not going to happen. He's got all kinds of oil wells, or not oil wells, or gas wells on his property, hundreds of them, it seems like. And most of the time they're pumping, so I got a feeling he's making enough money to have paid for the land many times over for what he's getting off the natural gas wells. So we stop here. Right now, a little test was being done. The controller shut off and fired back up. And you can see it's done a return to home automatically when it lost contact with the controller. And an error on my part on that. I had my hands just a little out of place as I was doing something, and bang, hit that power button. And you see what happens. Fortunately, DJI has got a great setup that if something like this happens and you lose contact between the controller and your drone, it sets it into automatic return to home after a certain length of time. So she's starting to come back towards the takeoff spot now, and we'll take control of it here pretty soon. It's a good fail-safe. So it's something you don't want to do unless you have to use it. But it is nice to have it there. That's for sure. So we're coming back towards the area, the shortest path that we can take. Another lake down here on the left. This guy's got it rough too. I'd like to wood a line there, but that's not going to happen either. I don't know how many acres he owns there. Several. He probably got several hundred acres on his property, including the lake there. Here we come back now. You can still see a little bit of tilt on the horizon, but not much. Not bad. So like I said, it's late July afternoon. Temperature is just very, very, very warm. And you step outside, and it feels like you're stepping into a sauna bath. I've been in some sauna baths. I didn't feel as hot as it's compared to the last couple of days. 122 degrees heat index is what I had here 3 or 4 days ago. And then the next day was 112, and then went down to about 110. So, well, I guess like that, you just don't want to be outside doing much at all. But okay, we grab control back, and we're going to, oh, there it is. You see what I see? Something I'm a sucker for. Trains, planes, automobiles, and water towers. And this is the latter. And we're flying over some deer hunting area right now in the park, managed park. They have a managed bow hunt in this area. We take a lot of deer out of there. I think they took about 25 out of there last year with a bow. Keeps the deer population where it needs to be. So we're going to fly down this way and see what we can see. As you can see, the inversion in the air, a lot of wildfires up in Canada that are bringing a lot of smoke down in our area. And the air quality is not good, which doesn't help me out a lot when you've got asthma and stuff like that. You got to limit your outdoor time when the air quality gets this bad. But we're going to fly down here for you guys, and you have seen this water tower many times. I got up there and painted something on there for you this time. No, I didn't do it. But I like this water tower. The big white one there is just a couple years old. The brown holding tank there, pump center, that's been there for a long, long, long time. It almost looks like it's made out of wood, the roof of that thing. Really neat looking. And I've flown around this many times. You guys, if you've seen any of my videos, you've seen this tower in there a lot of times. So we'll take a look at it today. We're going to try to do a little manual rotation here and see how we do. I was standing there, and like I said, it was so hot at 97 degrees, and with the heat index, what it was, sweat dripping in my eyes. I'm trying to look at the controller and just keep the touch ever so light on it to get a halfway decent manual rotation here, and I don't think I'm doing too bad a job. We'll get about another half rotation here, and then we'll just peel off and kind of head back over the park. Sure looks pretty to me. And there's a high line there. You can see it stretches up behind the water tower, goes up to all the way across the park there, up to a parking area up there. And there's walking trails all through there. A lot of deer come out in that high line area there at night. You can sit up the top of it in glass and see all the deer come out into it. There's a bedding area up there. You can see the cedars, big groves of cedars on the right and on the left, especially with that pond right there. Deer love to bed in those things, those areas. So we're going to fly on up here a little ways, see what we can see. I can tell you there were no deer out today because it was just too hot. You won't find them out till it cools off before they start moving. There's the nice cedar bed right there. And then if you notice the line on the left side of the screen, that's a natural gas right away. cut through the woods too, and the deer like to traverse it. And it starts up in that field and comes down in an angle there. I've seen many, many nice deer in that right away also, right at dusk. We're going to fly back up here towards the parking area, and then I think, let's veer over here to the left a little bit. I see the pond that I like to fish at right in front of us. We'll take a look at it right now. Caught a lot of channel catfish out of it earlier in the year. Conservation Department stocks pan-sized channel catfish in here, but they get caught out pretty quick. We'll take a look at it, though. There's some fabulous colors. This pond just gets full of moss and seaweed, or whatever you want to call it, and overcome with lily pads. And some of them are just beautiful. The different color variations are tremendous, and you don't get to see it quite right unless you see it from the air. And I'm going to show it to you right now. Look at that. We're going to zoom in on those lily pads for you here. Let me get there we go. Down. Let's zoom in real quick on these. Look at the colors in those floating on that water. Is that beautiful? That's pretty neat. Like I said, not much of a pond. It's not very deep, so it has a hard time holding anything but fish and things that live in extremely mossed over lakes. Because sometimes during the year you can't even throw a line in it. Fly back over here, over the parking lot here, where you walk down the trail to go fishing. Come up here, we should see that lake. Yeah, there's the guy's lake again. I'd like to wet a line there. Can you believe that? That size pond, and there's nobody fishing in it. Anyway, we'll come back over the wildlife area and park area here, and we'll put her in and return to home and see if we can get a precision landing after all of this. Let's come back over this way a little ways. Bring the camera up. Here we go. Let's drift to the left. And we should come to a stop. Let's go ahead and put it in return to home. And let's check and see how close the Air 3S gets. There she goes. She's picked her path. There's a power station right there on right little substation for the power grid. They didn't used to have that there, but they put in a lot of businesses over here in the last 15 years. So anyway, we're going to come back to the lodge now and see if we can get back on the deck, see if it can find the takeoff map. We'll get some more content out there for you soon, guys. It's just been raining a lot and just excessively hot. So other irons in the furnace, you know how that goes. But we'll get some more content out there for you. And you know what I like to do? I like to fly. And that's what you see in my videos. You see me flying. You don't see a lot of automated stuff because I like to fly too much. Here we go. We're going to come on in here. Let's see. Once it kind of sees that landing pad, it should turn around and orientate itself in the takeoff position that it was. You guys stay safe out there. Try to treat each other the way you want to be treated. You know, that golden rule. There we go. It's a good rule to follow. I think everybody does well when we follow that. And here we come down. Let's see what we get here, guys. Be safe out there. If you fly, enjoy yourself, have fun. If you don't, have fun watching. Be safe in whatever you do. Look at this. Right spot on. Camera up. Drop right onto that landing mat. Boom. Thank you.